This is FIFA 12, and this is a clip from FIFA 12 of me scoring a goal with Real Madrid. Now some of you are probably thinking that's not a bad goal. Well, you'd be wrong, and not just because I had to adjust all of the sliders in order to score it. What actually ruins this goal is the fact that I have had to use assisted controls in order to score it. But there is an alternative to assisted controls out there, and this alternative is called manual controls. If you've got no idea what manual controls are, or you just want to know a bit more about them, then this is the video for you. What's up guys, this is Fluorescent FIFA, also known on the Xbox as Fluorine19 here, welcoming you to the first episode of what I have decided to call the manual movement. The point of the manual movement is basically I want to try and get more people playing on manual controls. I'm sure if you've seen this, then you're probably someone who's seen a few YouTube videos before of FIFA clips, you know, guys uploading compilations and things like that, where they've got, you know, unrealistic goals, 50-yard long shots and dipping volleys from near the touchline and bicycle kicks from outside the box and all that kind of thing. And it's a bit unfortunate really that so many people rave over these goals like they're amazing when they don't really understand that the game has done all of that for them. Now don't get me wrong, I know there are compilations out there where people are beating 4 or 5 players by stringing 6-7 skill moves together. Those are very impressive. One important thing is that skill moves are completely independent of the control set that you're using. There's no difference in skill moves in manual, assisted or whatever. But the ones I mentioned are the ones which are my bugbears, you know, the 50-yard long shots and so on and so forth, where people just don't realise that the game's doing all the work for them. And to explain exactly what I mean by that, I'm going to demonstrate in this video the differences between assisted controls and manual controls, because often when I ask people or tell people that they should give manual a go, they don't have a clue what I'm on about, they've never heard of it. So that's the point of this video, is to highlight what manual controls are, explain the differences to people who don't know. So if you keep watching, then I will do my best to inform you. So if you go to the FIFA menu screens, as you can see here, and then if you go to the Customize FIFA tab, click on Settings, go to Controls, Xbox 360 Controller, then you'll come up to a menu. I think the default layout is something like this. So as you can see, pass assistance, through pass assistance, all set to assisted, etc, etc. For the first demonstration I'm going to pick particularly on shot assistance. If you read the description there, you see it changes when I flick through it. It says shot assistance, shot direction will be assisted to always aim towards the goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a test on this to see how many goals I score from a certain number of attempts. I'm going to try and shoot roughly from the same place every time, and I'm going to be trying to do finesse shots into the far corner. I'm going to use Messi for all of them, that way it's fair. So first one, as you can see, straight in, no problem. Second one, good save by the goalkeeper, and I'm just going to be quiet and let it run throughout now until the end. In the meantime, you can have some music to keep you company instead of my lovely voice. And then last one there. So as you can see from the stats on the screen, 54% of the shots were goals, 62% were on target. Those aren't amazing percentages, but they're not exactly bad percentages. Obviously, if you were to translate that across to a real life situation, I don't think even Messi scores with 54% of the shots he has from the edge of the area. So as you can see, it's a little bit unrealistic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate the same thing. I've gone the wrong place there. Demonstrate the same thing, this time changing the shot assistance to semi. If you read the description, you have to aim toward the target to keep your shots on target. So I'm going to run the test again, and what I actually did while recording this was completely lost count of how many I've done. So there's going to be a few more than there should be. So the numbers aren't quite even, but I still get my point across, I think. So again, I'm just going to let this run and see how many goals we get. And the last one there hits the crossbar. So again, as you can see from the stats on the screen, 67% of the total shots actually resulted in goals, which surprised me a bit. I thought it would be slightly less than unassisted, but apparently not. So obviously it comes back to what I was saying earlier about things being realistic. No player scores with 2/3 of their shots from the edge of the area. So again, unrealistic. I'm now going to run the test with manual controls. As you can see from the description, the direction you aim is the direction the shot will go. So what I'm going to do with the first two is I've demonstrated basically that in action. So the ball is going to go exactly where I aim. So what I'm doing is I'm running in the direction, and then I'm holding the same direction I'm running when I press shoot. So that effectively that's the direction I'm aiming. That's what's going to happen. Wait for Messi to get ready. So, you know, same sort of thing. Messi runs with the ball, comes inside, and then holds shoot in the direction I'm aiming, and as you can see, that's gone flying a million miles away. I realise I put an awful lot of power on that, but it was purely for the sake of demonstration. I'm going to do it again, this time putting, I guess, what you could call a proper amount of power on it, as if I was going to go for a shot. So you see, cut inside, try and curl into the far corner, but because I'm running where I am, it almost goes out for a throw-in again. So now I'm going to run the test. I'm trying my absolute best to curl these into the far corner, but it's really not very easy on manual. You know, that one wasn't too far away. So I'm going to keep talking over this one as well, because there are a few things I want to discuss. You see from the save there, that was me aiming for the far corner, and the keeper caught that at his near post. So third time lucky, that one's gone in the corner. Fourth one, as you can see, in off the crossbar. Excellent goal, unless it's England-Germany in the World Cup. Yep, I'm still bitter. Anyway. Number 6, you know, gone wide. I think one of the things you should be able to notice is that the variance with manual controls is a lot higher. You're seeing them go wide by quite a margin. We've seen one in off the bar down the middle of the goal. We've seen one, one's gone nicely in the top corner. We've seen one go be saved by the keeper at his near post. So it's a lot more realistic, you know. It doesn't always go exactly, or, you know, not even approximately where you want it to. But it does go exactly where you aim it, even though sometimes you, believe me, you won't think you've aimed there, but you have. So, as you can see again there, that one's gone right down the middle of the goal and somehow gone over the keeper. 2 in a row, which is always quite nice. And then I think I did the same thing again. I lost count and I've ended up doing 16 this time. There aren't any more goals. I come close with this one. Very unlucky. And I think that's the last one, is it? No, one more. So, there you go. So the stats for that one, as you can see, 5 goals from 16 shots, 31%. Only 38% of them on target. So that's, I guess, a much more realistic... percentage. But anyway, hopefully I've made my point clear. You know, it's a lot harder to score on manual with the shooting. You're not going to score a 50-yard goal on manual. It's just not going to happen. It's kind of hard to demonstrate, but the power system works a little bit differently as well. That's probably going to become slightly more apparent in the passing bit, which is what I'm going to move on to now. I've just realised that I forgot about YouTube's 15-minute limit, so I'm going to put this next bit into a second part. So if you can click on that, and then you'll see a demonstration of how passing works, crossing, long passing, combined with shooting. And I'm going to do a practice match on assisted and a practice match on manual to try and demonstrate the difference, see whether or not one is indeed more difficult than the other to try and play. So if you've got through the entire 11 something minutes of this, then thank you very much. There's unfortunately another 10 minutes or so to go if you want the full story, but if you could look at the second part, leave me feedback on this part, you know, leave a comment, like, dislike, or whatever. At the end of the day, if this hasn't been useful, then tell me. If it has been useful, then great. But at the end of the day, if I don't know, then I don't know whether or not there's any point in me making more of these videos. So please do leave some sort of feedback. All feedback's welcome, and I will see you in part 2.